Sergeant, I don't think he can make it. It's kind of short.
Oh, yeah? Watch this, Pyle. I'll show you how it's done. This is the way an expert does it. First, you cut it hard, see? And exactly the right moment, you cut it hard the other way.
Uh-oh.
There we are, Pyle.
Sergeant, you hit the car ahead of us.
What? I what?
You hit the car ahead of us. I heard it. Your bumper must have got caught on head.
I didn't hear anything.
Well, you was turned around looking in the back. That's probably the
You
reason
must be out of your head, Pyle. I never even touched him.
Is there any damage, Sergeant?
No, nothing. I told you I never touched him. Come on, let's go, Pyle.
Well, wait a minute, Sergeant.
What's the matter?
There's a scratch here.
Oh, yeah? Where? I didn't see anything.
Right here. If you lean over this way, you can see it from this angle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Sergeant, you're not going to just leave, are you?
Well, why not?
Well, you damaged this feller's car. It was an accident, but it was your fault.
Well, what do you expect me to do about it? If the guy was here, I'd tell him I'm sorry. But it's after 6, Pyle, and I got a date with Bunny for dinner.
But if you leave the scene of an accident, Sergeant, that's hit and run.
Hit and run? It's a little scratch. You take a cloth and some polish and just rub it out.
Sergeant, not with this. To really fix this up, you got to sand the paint off and then cover it with primer and then blend some new paint in. It's at least a $10 job.
$10?
Uh-huh. But you've got insurance. That ought to cover it.
I ain't gonna put in a claim for something like that. They'll raise my rates. Look, I gotta go, Pyle. I'm going.
All right, Sergeant.
What are you doing, Pyle?
Nothing, Sergeant. Just standing here.
I thought you were going to a movie.
Well, I am, but I thought I'd wait on the feller that owns this car to come back.
You mean you're gonna wait for him and tell him I put that scratch on his fender?
Well, don't worry, Sergeant. I'll take all the blame since I was the one directing you. But it's only fair that I tell him she was the one behind the wheel. It's the only honorable thing to do, Sergeant. Don't you agree? If more people had owned up to their mistakes, there wouldn't be any...
Okay. I'll write the guy a note.
Oh, good, Sergeant. I just know you're going to feel better about this. It's just like Grandma Pyle used to always say. If my conscience ain't right, I'm up past the night. But if my conscience is clean, I sleep to 8:15.
Yeah. I put out my name and my phone number, and I told him I'd pay for the damage. Here, put this on the guy's window.
I sure will, Sergeant. I just know you're going to be happy about this. If my conscience ain't right, I'm up past the night. If my conscience is clean, I sleep to 8:15.
Company B, Sergeant Carter here. Who? Whipple. Well, what can I do for you, Miss... Oh, yeah, my note. Yeah, that was me. Well, thank you very much. Sure, I know. Most guys would, but I just ain't built that way. Right, there's still some of us good guys left in the world. Well, what's it going to cost me, Mr. Whipple? Estimates? What do you need estimates for? It was just a... What? What? $235? For what? It was just a scratch. Huh? What extensive damage? Look, mister, I don't know what your racket is, but you got the wrong guy. I ain't about to pay you 235 clams. Well, do anything you like.
Golly, Sergeant, I find that hard to believe.
Of course you do, Pyle. As far as you're concerned, the whole world's one big Mother Goose story.
I sure am sorry, Sergeant.
Oh, sure you're sorry. You're always sorry. But that don't keep you from being stupid.
Well, are you going to have to pay him?
Oh, no, Pyle. I ain't stupid. But some other dummy probably would have paid him, and it all would have been made possible by you, Pyle. You, Mr. Nice Guy.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a Sergeant Carter. Could you tell me where I might find him?
Yeah, I'm Carter. What can I do for you?
Oh, really? You're Sergeant Carter, hmm? Well, I'm Harry Whipple.
Oh, so you're Whipple, huh?
Yes, and I'd like to ask you one question, Sergeant. Are you going to pay me or not?
Come on, you gotta be kidding. You know you got a lot of guts coming out of you like this. I told you on the phone.
Now, you mean you refuse to pay? Because I can take steps. I was going to give you one chance to change your mind before I went...
Well, I ain't changing my mind. Get that straight. You got a nice little racket going for you, but it won't work with me.
Now, look, Sergeant, I'm sure you don't want any trouble, and I don't like making trouble for a serviceman, but I warn you, I will not hesitate.
Are you trying to scare me? Because if you are, forget it. I put One little scratch on your car. A little scratch about that big, and you know it.
Would you like to step outside and take a look at my car?
Yeah, I'd like to see it. Come on, show me your $235 fender.
Come on.
Pyle, come with me. I want to show you something.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here it is, Sergeant. Do you call that a scratch?
Smoke, who did that?
You did.
I didn't.
Then who did?
I don't know, but I'm telling you it wasn't me.
Now, look, would you please keep your voice down? My wife is in there.
Huh?
Come on, Harry. How long we gonna fool around here?
As long as it takes.
I gotta get to the beauty parlor.
You're telling me?
Listen to Steve Stunning. At least I can get help.
Seriously, do me a favor. Stay out of this and keep your mouth shut.
Gladly.
Oh, wait, that's the worst looking fender I ever did see.
And I didn't do it. Pyle, tell him what happened yesterday.
From the very beginning,
That's right. Tell him the whole thing.
well, I was going into town to see a movie. It was supposed to be a real good one. It's about this doctor experimenting with dead people.
Oh, no, Pyle, not all that. Just tell him about the accident.
Yes, sir. Well, anyway, Sergeant Carter was parking the car, and
And his car hit my fender, right?
yes, sir, it did.
Uh-huh. You see, he's a witness, Carter.
No. Pyle, tell him what happened exactly.
Well, I was trying to, Sergeant, and he just didn't let me finish. Anyway, Sergeant Carter hit your fender, but he never did all of that. He just made a little bitty scratch.
Okay, Whipple, there you are. That proves it.
If you think that I'm going to believe his phony story...
Are you saying Pyle's lying?
That's right, he's lying.
Shame, shame, shame. I am not.
I only know two things. I got a note from you and a badly smashed car. Now, I ask you for the last time, are you going to pay me for it or not?
And I'm telling you for the last time, no. Now, my advice is to get in your car and get out of here before I call the MPs.
All right, Sergeant. All right, I'm going. But you'll hear from me. You're in plenty of trouble, understand? Plenty of trouble.
Come in. Sergeant Carter reporting his order, sir. At ease. I hope you don't mind, sir, but I brought Private Pyle along just in case we need him for some collaboration.
Yes. This is Sergeant Carter and Private Pyle. You know one of these gentlemen, I believe, Mr. Whipple.
Yes, sir.
Howdy.
These other gentlemen are Mr. Goodbody, his attorney, and Mr. Marshall, his insurance agent.
Pleased to meet you.
You know what this is about, I'm sure, the accident with Mr. Whipple's car.
Yes, sir.
I've seen the car, and I've seen the note that you left, Sergeant Carter. What I don't understand is why you refused to pay for the smashed fender.
Well, it's very simple, Colonel. I didn't do it.
Excuse me, Colonel. I think Private Pyle could clear this all up for us.
Colonel, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Private Pyle a few questions.
Well, this isn't a court of law, Mr. Goodbody.
Oh, no, sir. It's perfectly all right with me, sir. And I'm sure it's perfectly all right with my witness here, right, Pyle?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, Colonel, the private was a bit reluctant to speak in front of his sergeant when I talked to the both of them. But perhaps here in your office we may be able to...
Harry, let me handle this now. Private Pyle, as I understand it, you witnessed the accident.
Yes, sir. See, I was going into town to see this movie, and Sergeant Carter said he'd be kind enough to take...
Just tell us about the accident, please. Now, you were in the car.
Well, yes, sir, I was. I was directing him into this awful short space.
Awful short space. Now, tell us what else happened in this awful short space as you described.
Well, there's not really much to tell. We was parking, and our car hit the other car.
To tell you the truth, Colonel, I didn't even know...
Please, Sergeant, Private Pyle is answering the questions.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Pyle.
Private Pyle, you say that Sergeant Carter's car definitely hit Mr. Whipple's car.
Oh, sure, there's no doubt about it. I even heard it.
You say you heard it.
Yes, I not only heard it, but I felt it. But it wasn't much...
You felt it? How?
Well, you know, nice new car like that, it kind of gave me a sickening feeling.
A sickening feeling?
Well, you know how it is when your car hits something. It kind of makes you sick right here.
Thank you, Colonel. I rest my case.
Colonel, I tell you, it was just a scratch.
Sergeant, I'm in a very difficult position here. It's Sergeant Carter's word against the word of this good civilian. But from all the evidence I've heard, I think there's only one thing for the sergeant to do, and that's pay up. And that's what I want you to do, Sergeant. That will be all, men.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Come on, Pyle. It's just a little scratch. Tiny scratch.
Yes?
Excuse me, Miss Whipple. My name is Pyle, Gomer Pyle. I saw you out at the base yesterday.
Yes, I remember. What do you want?
Well, is your husband at home?
No, he's at work. Goodbye.
Miss Whipple, see, the reason I wanted to see him was to talk about that accident my sergeant and I had with Mr. Whipple's car.
I wouldn't know anything about that. You'll have to talk to him. And I'm getting dressed to go out shopping, and I'm in a hurry.
Oh, I see. Well, could you tell me where I could get in touch with him?
I told you I don't have any time to talk. Goodbye.
But, Miss Whipple...
Goodbye. Are you still here? I told you I don't have any time to talk.
Well, all I wanted was just to ask
And
you...
I told you to get out of here. Now, will you stop bothering me, or I'll call the police?
But, ma'am, I... Ma'am?
Where did you come from?
Well, from just down the street. I was just wondering if I could talk to you for a minute.
I told you I haven't got any time. Now get away. Just get away from the car.
Well, all I want to do is ask you a couple of questions, ma'am. Do you always drive like that?
What do you mean?
Well, I seen you hit that tree, and it just kind of gave me a thought. Were you driving this car day before yesterday?
I told you to quit bothering me. Why can't you leave me alone? Get off this property this minute. I'm going to call the police.
All right, ma'am, if that's what you'd like to do.
Go away.
You did it, didn't you, ma'am? I mean, smash that fender.
So when it happened, I panicked. I just panicked.
But why?
It's a brand new car. The price sticker is still on the back window.
Well, I still don't think that's any reason you can't tell your husband.
He'd never hear me. He'd take one look at that fender and then he'd start screaming at me.
You mean this is the first accident you've ever had?
I've only been driving for 2 days. For 10 years, we argued about me getting a license, and I finally won. And the first thing I did was prove he was right.
Well, it seems to me that anybody that's been driving that short a time is entitled to one mistake.
Don't you understand? Our life is one long argument. The only reason I was crying is because this is the first time Harry has been 100% right. And he's never going to let me forget it.
Well, I sure am sorry, Miss Whipple.
Oh, sorry, sure. Everybody is always sorry. Oh, why did you have to interfere in my life?
Well, I didn't mean to interfere, but, well, my sergeant's innocent, and he's being made to take the blame for something he didn't do.
Oh, I know. I just feel awful about it. When Harry told me he was going to the camp to see your colonel, I tried to stop him, but he just started screaming again.
Golly.
You just don't know Harry. He screams. It's terrible.
Yes, ma'am, I know. I've met your husband. He's a holler, all right.
Yes, and when he hollers, I can't stand it.
Well, excuse me for asking, ma'am, but What do you usually do when he hollers?
What can I do? I holler right back.
Just because a person's a holler don't mean that he ain't nice. Take my sergeant, for instance. He's a holler, but down deep, he's one of the nicest people I ever met.
Sure, so is Harry. It's pretty deep, but basically he's nice.
Well, that's why I think you can stand up to Mr. Whipple and tell him the truth.
Oh, no. Oh, no, no. No, I couldn't.
Maybe you could, if you'd let me help you.
Who left this stupid lawnmower right in the front walk? Somebody could fall down and break their neck.
He's home. He's coming in. Now, look, you go out the back way. That way he'll never see you.
But, ma'am...
Oh, please, don't you understand? He'll be in here in a second.
But, ma'am, I'll just stay right here with you and give you moral support, and that way you can face up to him.
No, no, I can't do it. Just forget what I said. I'll get the money and I'll pay Sergeant Carter back.
And you just get a hold of yourself. There ain't no reason for you to get all
Alice!
upset.
I'm home!
I heard! I mean, hello, Harry.
What's he doing here?
Harry, you remember Mr. Pyle? He's from the...
Yeah. What are you doing here, Pyle?
Well,
Did you bring me a check? Is that why you're here?
No, I just came to straighten out what really happened to your car.
What?
We see, the truth is, Sergeant Carter never did that damage to your car, and, well, I'd like you to know who did.
What is this?
Harry?
Yeah?
Would you like a martini, Harry?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I would.
Good, I've got some all fixed.
Now, you say Carter didn't wreck my car? Huh? Well, then who did?
Well, the truth is...
Here, Harry, drink this.
Hey, I can't drink all that. I'll get stoned.
It's all right, Harry, take it. I think you better.
All right, Pyle. You got something to say? Spill it.
Well, I don't think I'm the one that should tell you this. I think that the person who should tell you
I
is...
did it, Harry.
Now, come on now, Pyle. Cut the double talk. I know Carter did it. He left the note, and then he changed his mind, right? But I got him dead to rights, and he is gonna pay.
It's my fault, Harry. I smashed the fender. I'm the one who wrecked the car. I had the note from Sergeant Carter, and I let him take the blame. You want some more martini, Harry?
You did it?
Yes, Harry, I did it. And I'm sorry as I can be.
How could you do such a stupid thing? I threaten this man, Carter. I go out to the base and talk to the colonel. I get everybody upset, and you stand there calmly and coolly and tell me you did it. How could you do such a thing like that? To me! It's bad enough you wrecked the car, then you let me go and make a jerk out of myself? And why would you be afraid to tell me? What am I, an ogre, a monster, a raving beast that you have to be frightened of? You can tell me anything. I'm a reasonable person. You don't have to go beating around the bush afraid to open up your mouth.
You're right, Harry.
I'm your husband. You're my wife. We've been married for almost 20 years, right? A human being is allowed to make a mistake. We're only human. Everybody makes mistakes. Even I make mistakes.
You're right, Harry.
You know what our problem is, Alice? We don't communicate. But you see, once we talk it out, everything is okay.
It's very decent of you to come here and straighten this out, Mr. Whipple. We all appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course, I'll take care of all the damages to the car. It's only fair.
Good.
Oh, well, excuse me, sir, but actually it ain't completely fair. After all, Sergeant Carter did do some of the damage. Oh, I figure about $10 worth.
Oh, no, that isn't necessary.
Well, maybe it ain't necessary, but I just know Sergeant Carter wouldn't feel right if you had to pay for all of it. Isn't that right, Sergeant?
Well,
Well, all right, if you insist. It is very kind of you.
yes, it's very good of you, Sergeant. Why don't you just do that? Just send Mr. Whipple a check for $10. Well, I'll let you men get back to your duties. That'll be all.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Come on, Pyle.
Sergeant, I hope you don't think that I...
Pyle, you knucklehead, you nitwit, you nincompoop. Why did you have to open your mouth in there? I was off the hook completely, and now I'm stuck for $10. Why do you always have to be Mr. Nice Guy? Couldn't you keep your mouth shut once in your life? Don't you ever know when to leave well enough alone? Of all the stupid-head knuckleheads I've ever known, you are absolutely the worst.
You're right, Sergeant. Well, for goodness sakes. Oh, wait a minute, Joey.
What's the matter?
Well, there's a picture there of somebody I think I know.
Him? Moose Lewis? You know him?
Well, yeah, what's his picture doing in the paper?
You gotta be kidding. Moose Lewis is a fullback for the Boston Bulldogs. They're playing the Kings here Sunday for the division title. And you know Moose?
Well, yeah, but I never did call him Moose. His name was Ellery. But I'm sure that's him. Let me take a closer look.
Hey, Eddie, come here.
What's up?
Well, Gomer just said he's a personal friend of Moose Lewis.
Oh, the Boston Bulldogs?
Well, yeah, but this is the same fella, and I'm almost positive it is. He worked with me a summer at the filling station back home in Mayberry. Fact is, he once knitted me a pair of socks.
Moose Lewis knitted you a pair of socks?
Well, yeah, he was kind of a nervous fella, and he liked to keep his hands busy. So he took up knitting, and there wasn't nobody else to knit for, so he decided...
Gomer, if he knitted you a pair of socks, it's gotta be a different Lewis.
You may be right. Sure looks like him, though.
You must be out of your head. Nah, forget it. I was willing to pay something extra, but that's way out of line. Nah, forget it. I'll go somewhere else. No, forget it. How do you like that? $15 for a $5 ticket. Boy, they really know how to put the screws to you.
Well, it is sold out, Sarge. And there's no TV.
Yeah, but they're tickets. It's just a question of how much you want to pay. Hey, wait a minute. I know a guy, Cummings, Jimmy Cummings. I got tickets from him once before. There's a phone book. Now, here it is. Let's see now. Cummings. Get that, will you?
Company B. Who? Just a second, sir. It's a guy who wants to talk to Pyle.
Hang up. There are no personal calls in this office.
I'm sorry, sir, but there's no personal calls. What? He says he's from out of town.
Home.
Just a second, sir. Hey, Gomer, it's a telephone call for you.
Cudahy, Culpepper, Cullum.
Phone call for me? Who is it?
Some guy from out of town.
Golly sakes, I wonder who in the world it could be.
Hurry it up, Pyle. I want to use that phone.
Oh, hello, Gomer Pyle speaking.
Hey, Gone, you know who this is?
Well, the voice
here
is
it
familiar.
It's Ellery Lewis.
Well, for goodness gracious sakes, what in the world are you doing in town? You are? Then that was you. I thought I recognized you.
Hey, get off, Pyle. I want to make a call.
Hey, Ellery, you know them socks you knitted for me? I wore them for almost 2 years. Well, of course, not every day.
Hurry it up, Pyle. I got important business here.
Listen, Gone, I'm only going to be in town this Sunday night, but I sure would like to see you. How about you coming out to the game Sunday and see us play?
Pyle, I'm giving you just 3 seconds to hang up.
Well, let's just say that I'll try to be there if I can, and if I don't have the duty. By the way, where are you staying at, Ellery? Uh-huh.
Give me that. Sergeant Carter here. For your information, this is the U.S. Marines and not a social club. And this happens to be a business phone, so I'm hanging up. Yes, that's right. That's the way it is.
But, Sergeant...
Get out of here, Pyle. Get back to what you're supposed to be doing.
But, Sergeant, I hadn't talked to Ellery in almost 5 years.
Out, Pyle. Out. Hello, Jimmy. This is Vince, your old buddy. Vince Carter.
Gomer!
Hey, Ellery!
Boy, if you ain't a sight for sore eyes. Man, look at you. Look at that uniform and everything. Boy, you done filled out.
Well, you done filled out, too. Just look at you, Ellery. A big, famous football player.
It's just a job. Better than working that gas station. Hey, now you're going to come out Sunday to the game, and you're going to sit on the bench of the players.
Well, I sure would like to. Is it all right if I bring a friend along? I'd like to bring Sergeant Carter.
Carter, isn't that guy hung up on me this morning?
Well, yeah, but he's really a very nice feller. He was just a little bit nervous this morning. He had a real important phone call to make, and I was tying up the phone.
Bring him in.
Oh, well, thank you, Ellery. Hey, do you still play that thing?
Yeah, man, I wouldn't go nowhere without this. I'll bet you I know one you don't remember. We went out on a double date. Me and Edith.
Me and Kate. Before we got past their front gate.
There you were making eyes at Edith.
Well, you was making time with Kate.
You can't have your Kate.
And Edith too. You rascal, you. Yo, lady,
We went out to the picture show.
I was kissing on Kate.
She wouldn't let you go.
I looked at Edith, started getting bold.
I saw your big hairy hand holding on to the hand I was trying to hold.
You can't have your Kate, and Edith too. You rascal, you. Yo, lady,
Years have passed since that first date.
Married Edith.
Married Kate. Every night when I come home.
Your car's in the driveway, Kate's in the car, you and Edith's in the house alone. You can't have your Kate, and Edith too. You rascal, you. Yo, lady,
Now, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Is this your friend Al who's got this ticket? Oh, his brother. Well, why ain't he going... Oh, the flu, huh? Well, what if he gets better? Yeah? What does the doctor say? I see.
Sergeant Carter.
Well, hold it, Mort. What do you want, Pyle?
Well, I've kind of got some exciting news. See, my friend Ellery Lewis is in town. And, well, if you're not doing anything Sunday afternoon...
What have you got in mind? A picnic?
No, Sergeant. You see, he wants...
Thanks, Pyle. I got plans Sunday. Big plans. Now, if you don't mind, I'm kind of busy right now, okay? Look, Mort, here's the thing. What if this guy does get better? Well, what's his temperature right now? Uh-huh.
What it is, Sergeant, see, Ellery invited me to the big football game on Sunday, and he said I could bring a friend.
Oh, hold it, Mort. Look, Pyle, will you stop yakking in my ear and get out of here? I told you I got plans Sunday.
All right.
Now, here's the thing, Mort. I got this chance for a ticket, see? It's available, and if I blow it, and this guy Freddie gets better, then where does that leave me? $15 for a $5 ticket. Rat.
Sergeant, what's the matter?
Nothing. Listen, Pyle. Pyle, remember when you came to the office this afternoon? I was talking on the phone, and you were trying to tell me something. What was that?
This afternoon?
Yeah. Did you say you had a friend who was inviting you to the football game Sunday?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is. You mean this guy's got tickets?
Well, no. You see, he's one of the players for the Boston Bulldogs.
He is. What's his name, Pyle?
Ellery Lewis.
Ellery?
In the newspapers, they call him Moose.
Well, Moose Lewis? Moose Lewis?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine from back home.
This friend of yours is Moose Lewis?
Uh-huh. He invited me to the game Sunday, and he told me I could bring a friend and we could sit on the bench.
This is the truth, ain't it? The absolute truth. I mean, this is very important to me. You see, I got a ticket, and if I pass it up, and this turns out to be some kind of cock and bull story.
Well, no, Sergeant, it's the truth. Ellery told me so himself.
Yeah, Pyle, but sometimes you have a way of getting things a little confused. Look, Pyle, could we go down and see Moose together? Could I meet Moose?
Oh, sure, I'll call him first thing in the morning.
Yeah, good. Good. You call him first thing in the morning. Good night, Pyle. You see this? That's the Marine Corps emblem. Swear you know Moose Lewis.
Listen, you sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Ed.
Hey, I'm George.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We better get the doc. Get the phone on your way out. Yeah.
Well, there he is, right there. Hi, Ellery, how you doing? Ellery, this here's Sergeant Carter, the fella I was telling you about. Sergeant, this here's Ellery Lewis.
Hi there, Moose. Glad to know you. This is a real pleasure.
The reason we come down here today was the sergeant didn't quite believe I really knew you.
Oh, come on, Pyle. That ain't true. I just wanted to meet Moose, that's all.
Hey, Moose. What are you guys doing in here?
Well, hey there, I'm Gomer Pyle. This is Sergeant Carter. We're real good friends at the Ellery's.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah? Hey, Moose, you know these guys?
What?
But Ellery, you know me, Gomer. You invited me to sit on the bench tomorrow.
What are you talking about? Nobody sits on the bench except the players.
But Ellery, I just talked to you on the phone.
Yeah, get the phone.
Come on, you guys, out. Out. Come on, scram before I call one of the guards.
But Ellery...
Come on, Pyle.
Gomer? Hey, Gomer.
Well, hey, Ellery, what you doing here?
Looking for you. Listen, did you come down this morning to see me at practice?
Yeah, we sure did. Me and the sergeant talked to you in the locker room, but you didn't remember me.
Then it was you. They told me some guys came in to see me. I got shook up on a play this morning. For a while, I didn't even know where I was.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, how you feeling now?
Fine, Gome, fine. I just want to make sure you wasn't sore.
Gosh, no.
Listen, you coming down tomorrow now to game to see us, huh?
Well, of course I will.
Good. Make sure you bring your sergeant out here.
Okay, Ziggy, you win. I gotta see that game even if it costs me 25. There you have the ticket. Right out in front of the main gate. Yeah, I'll have cash. And I ain't gonna forget how you held me up on this deal either. Right. Creep.
Hey, Ellery, do you mind if we stop by and tell the sergeant what happened?
Sure, but then I gotta run. We got a skull session back at the hotel.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right.
Moose!
Hey, Sergeant, we was just
Hi,
coming
Sarge.
over.
I'm just getting ready to come over and apologize.
See, what happened this morning is Ellery got hit in practice in the head, and he was still kind of woozy.
I didn't even know you guys was there. They told me about it later on.
Oh, that's what happened. Well, I figured it was something like that. I mean, I knew Pyle wouldn't lie about knowing you.
Well, I just want to make sure you wasn't sore. And you're coming out to see me tomorrow now, right?
Oh, sure.
Tomorrow? To the game? And sit on the bench? Is that what you mean, Moose?
I told Gomer I have some bench passes waiting for you. Well, I got to get going. I'll see you all tomorrow.
See you, Moose.
Bye.
Take care now. Take care, Moose. We'll see you tomorrow, Moose, old buddy. Hello, Ziggy. Carter. Yeah. You know that little $5 ticket you got that you're trying to get $25 for? Well, you still got it, Ziggy. I mean, I ain't taking it. I'm sitting on the bench tomorrow as the personal guest of Moose Lewis. You heard me, Moose Lewis. Gee, Ziggy, I hope you don't get stuck with that ticket. 'Cause a ticket like that would be hard to get rid of even at the regular price. Hey, Pyle, get on this side of me, huh?
What's the matter?
There's a guy down there I don't want to see. See the guy in the felt hat, the tough-looking guy? That's Ziggy. I don't want him to talk to him.
That's the fellow you talked to on the phone?
Yeah, I don't want him to see me.
Do you have a pass here for Gomer Pyle?
Bench pass.
Bench pass.
Yeah.
Pyle, here. Here you are. Go right in.
Great, go ahead, Pyle.
Hold it. Now, where are you going?
Let pass there for Pyle. That includes me, too.
It does? Yeah. It doesn't. All it says is Gomer Pyle.
Well, there must be some mistake. My friend Ellery Lewis said that he'd leave a bench pass here for the two of us.
I'm sorry, soldier. Now, you going in or ain't you?
Well, I'm not going in alone.
All right, then you ain't going in.
Wait a minute. Listen, we talked to Mr. Lewis yesterday, personally, and he told us there would be a pass here that included both of us.
Look, Buddy, what do you want from me? I only work here.
Oh, for crying out loud. Come on, Pyle. Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Wouldn't you know it? It was too good to be true. I knew it.
Well, I'm sorry, Son B, Sergeant.
No, forget it, Pyle. It ain't your fault. I talked to Moose. I heard him myself. Some mix-up. That stupid guy on the gate.
Well, listen, Sergeant, I got an idea. Why don't you go in instead of me?
Oh, no, Pyle. I couldn't do that.
Why not? I wish you would, 'cause I know how much it means to you, and it really don't mean that much to me.
No, Pyle.
Sure, Sergeant, you go ahead and take the ticket. I really don't care that much. I'll just wait out here in the car for you and maybe have a nap.
Yeah? Gee, Pyle, I hate to do this, but I will. And I won't forget this, Pyle. You can bet on that.
Oh, sure, Sergeant. Go on in there and enjoy yourself.
Okay, and I'll make it up to you, Pyle. I swear I'll make it up to you.
Have a good time, Sergeant. I'll see you later at the car.
Thanks again, Pyle. Buddy.
Hold it, hold it.
Huh?
You can't use this pass.
Why not?
Only Pyle can use this pass.
Oh, come on. You said one of us could go in.
I said Pyle could go in because his name is on the pass. Now, you can't go in because your name ain't on this pass. Is that clear? Now, either Pyle uses this pass or nobody uses it.
Oh, for the... Here, give me that. Excuse me, please. Will you, excuse me, please. Pyle! Hey, Pyle! Wait a second. It won't work. They won't let me in. Here, you take the pass. Go in yourself.
Well, what did you do, Sergeant?
Look, I think I know where I can get a ticket. Here, you go in. I'll meet you out here after the game.
Okay, Sergeant.
Well, there you are, Ziggy. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got the dough here, but I think it...
What ticket? I thought you were sitting on a bench.
Bench? Oh, well, that was a gag. You mean you went for that? I was just kidding you, Ziggy. Some gag, huh? Gee, I hope you didn't sell that ticket.
Not yet, but I will in a couple of minutes. The guy just went over to the window to break 100.
He did? Oh, but I can still have it. First come, first serve, right, Ziggy?
Sure, Carter. Cash on a barrel head.
I got it here. 25, right, Ziggy?
Wrong, Carter. 50.
Hey, Sergeant, did you buy that ticket yet?
Well, sure, Pyle. How do you think I got in? Why?
Well, I just talked to Ellery, and I got you a bench pie.
No. I just spent $50 for this. Oh, forget it. It's all right, Pyle. I'm just gonna figure I spent $50 to sit on the bench. I mean, it's worth it, ain't it? It's once in a lifetime, right? Sure. I'm just gonna forget the dough and have myself a ball.
Well, good, Sergeant.
Yeah, let's go, Pyle. Let's go see that football game. Oh, boy. What a thrill, huh? This is the greatest day of my life. Hey, the first play. Come on, Ellie! Come on!
Sergeant Carter! Sergeant? Here, I better have a look down here. Give me some room here, will you, fellas? Is he all right?
Oh, yeah, he's fine. Just shook up a little. He'll be okay in a couple hours.
Couple hours, he'll miss the game.
Oh, say, listen, he's lucky he's alive. Al, Dick, bring the stretcher over here. Take him down to the locker room.
All right. I'm sorry, Sergeant. This is all my fault. I should have been sitting on the end.
Yeah. Get the phone, will you?
Are you sure you're feeling all right now, Sergeant?
Boy, it sure was nice of Moose to give me the game ball. And the whole team signed it, too. Boy, that was great.
Well, he felt bad about you missing the game, and I felt bad about it too, Sergeant. But, boy, you ought to seen old Moose run. The way he dodged around there just like a jackrabbit.
Yeah, well, I did get to sit on the bench, and I got to see the first play, and I got the game ball. All in all, it was a great day, Pyle. A really great day.
Hold it. Now, where you guys going?
Huh?
We're going to our car.
Where'd you get that ball?
Oh, Moose Lewis gave it to me. It's a game ball. He made me a present of it.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can't get that ball out of here without a permit. You got a permit?
No, but it's mine. You see, Moose Lewis, he's the...
Wait a minute. Ain't you the guy I had trouble with before the game trying to get in on a phony pass?
No. Well, maybe you did, but so what? You ain't taking this ball.
Oh, yes, I am. How do I know? You might have stolen it. Now, come on, give me that ball.
Oh, no, you don't. You ain't taking this ball. Here, Pyle. I'm clear. Hit me, Pyle. Hit me. Hit me, Pyle. Hit me.
The bright morning sun shone down on the bustling military base, casting long shadows across the neatly paved streets where Marines in crisp uniforms marched in perfect unison. Among them, the gentle and warm-hearted Private Gomer Pyle walked with his usual wide-eyed wonder, his face beaming with a simple, honest joy that could brighten even the most stressful of days. Not far behind him, Sergeant Carter walked with a brisk, authoritative stride, his sharp eyes scanning the area as he muttered under his breath about the daily challenges of maintaining perfect military order. The air was filled with a faint, cheerful hum of a familiar melody, a tune that seemed to follow the legendary pair wherever their adventures took them, signaling another day of light-hearted misunderstandings, valuable life lessons, and the enduring power of honesty. Sergeant Carter stepped toward the olive-drab military vehicle parked near the crowded curb, his jaw set with the absolute confidence of a seasoned veteran. He looked at the narrow space ahead, then back at Gomer Pyle, who was watching him with a mixture of intense curiosity and mild anxiety. Private Pyle rubbed the back of his neck, squinting at the small gap between their bumper and the shiny civilian car parked just down the street. "Sergeant, I do not think he can make it," Gomer said, his voice rich with a gentle, slow southern drawl that contrasted sharply with the fast-paced energy of the base. "It is kind of short." Sergeant Carter scoffed, tossing his head back as he adjusted his cap with a theatrical flourish. "Oh yeah? Watch this, Pyle. I will show you how it is done. This is the way an expert does it. First, you cut it hard, see?" He climbed into the driver's seat, gripping the steering wheel with firm determination. Gomer quickly moved to the sidewalk, leaning forward and waving his hands in a frantic attempt to guide his superior officer through the tricky maneuver. The engine roared to life, and the vehicle began to ease backward into the tight spot. At exactly the right moment, "You cut it hard the other way," Sergeant Carter shouted over the rumble of the motor, leaning out of the window to project his voice. "Oh," Gomer murmured, his eyes widening into perfect circles as he saw the distance between the two vehicles vanish in an instant. There was a sudden, distinct metallic thud that echoed softly against the quiet buildings of the street. "There we are, Pyle," Sergeant Carter announced triumphantly, cutting the engine and turning around with a proud smile on his face, convinced that he had just executed a flawless piece of precision driving. Gomer stood frozen on the sidewalk, his hands still raised in midair. "Sergeant, you hit the car ahead of us," he said, his voice dropping to a concerned whisper. Sergeant Carter blinked, his smile instantly vanishing as his eyebrows shot up in disbelief. "What? What?" "You hit the car ahead of us," Gomer repeated, nodding his head earnestly to emphasize the truth of his words. "I heard it. Your bumper must have got caught on here." "I did not hear anything," Sergeant Carter snapped, waving his hand dismissively as he climbed out of the vehicle to inspect the perimeter. "Well, you was turned around looking in the back. You must be out of your head, Pyle. I never even touched him." He walked over to the space between the two cars, kicking his own tire lightly as if to prove that everything was in perfect working order. Gomer walked over to the civilian vehicle, bending down so low that his nose was almost touching the polished metal. "Is there any damage, Sergeant?" he asked, his conscience already beginning to prick at him. "No, nothing," Sergeant Carter said firmly, barely glancing at the bumper. I told you I never touched him. Come on, let us go, Pyle. We have a schedule to keep, and there is no sense in wasting time standing around here in the heat. Well, wait a minute, Sergeant, Gomer called out, remaining glued to his spot on the pavement. What is the matter now? Sergeant Carter asked, turning back with an impatient sigh, his hands resting heavily on his hips. There is a scratch here, Gomer said, pointing a long, steady finger at a tiny line on the paint. Oh, yeah? Where? I did not see anything, Sergeant Carter muttered, stepping closer but refusing to bend his knees. Right here, Gomer insisted, gesturing for the sergeant to join him on his level. If you lean over this way, you can see it from this angle. Sergeant Carter sighed loudly, leaning his torso sideways in a reluctant, awkward movement. Oh, yeah, he admitted grudgingly, seeing the faint mark for the first time. Well, it is barely anything at all. Well, Sergeant, you are not going to just leave, are you? Gomer asked, his eyes filled with a deep, earnest concern that could not be easily brushed away. Well, why not? Sergeant Carter asked, crossing his arms defensively. Well, you damaged this fella's car, Gomer explained softly, his tone full of the simple, moral clarity that guided his entire life. It was an accident, but it was your fault. Well, what do you expect me to do about it? Sergeant Carter asked, throwing his hands up in frustration. If the guy was here, I would tell him I am sorry. But it is after 6, Pyle, and I got a date with Bunny for dinner. I cannot be late for Bunny. You know how she gets when the food gets cold. But if you leave the scene of an accident, Sergeant, that is hit and run, Gomer said, his voice rising slightly with a sense of urgent duty. Hit and run? Sergeant Carter scoffed, shaking his head at the sheer absurdity of the accusation. It is a little scratch. You take a cloth and some polish and just rub it out. It is not like the whole side of the vehicle is caved in, Pyle. Sergeant, not with this, Gomer said, shaking his head with the confidence of someone who knew a thing or two about honest labor and mechanical repairs. To really fix this up, you have got to sand the paint off and then cover with primer and then blend some new paint in. It is at least a $10 job. $10? Sergeant Carter gasped, as if the amount were a small fortune. Uh-huh. But you've got insurance, Gomer reminded him with a cheerful, helpful smile. That ought to cover it. I ain't gonna put in a claim for something like that, Sergeant Carter muttered, his voice dropping as he thought about the paperwork and the bureaucracy. They will raise my rates. Look, I gotta go, Pyle. I am going. He turned on his heel and began to walk away, fully intending to put the entire minor incident behind him. All right, Sergeant, Gomer said quietly, remaining exactly where he was, standing guard next to the civilian car like a faithful sentinel. Sergeant Carter walked a few paces, then stopped when he realized he did not hear the sound of Gomer's heavy boots following him. He turned around, his eyes narrowing as he saw the private standing perfectly still. What are you doing, Pyle? Nothing, Sergeant. Just standing here, Gomer replied with a pleasant, completely innocent smile. I thought you were going to a movie, Sergeant Carter said, gesturing toward the main street where the local theater was located. Well, I am, Gomer said, nodding his head. But I thought I would wait on the fella that owns this car to come back. Sergeant Carter froze, a sudden wave of panic washing over his face. You mean you are going to wait for him and tell him I put that scratch on his fender? Don't worry, Sergeant. I will take all the blame since I was the one directing you, Gomer said, his voice overflowing with a pure, selfless generosity. But it is only fair that I tell him you was the one behind the wheel. It is the only honorable thing to do, Sergeant, don't you agree? If more people had owned up to their mistakes, there would not be any trouble in the world. It is a matter of principle, Sergeant. Okay, Sergeant Carter interrupted, waving his hands frantically to stop the oncoming lecture on morality. I will write the guy a note. Oh, good, Sergeant, Gomer beamed, his face lighting up with immense joy and relief. I just know you are going to feel better about this. It is just like Grandma Pyle used to always say, if my conscience ain't right, I am going to pass the night. But if my conscience is clean, I sleep till 8:15. Sergeant Carter pulled a small piece of paper and a pen from his pocket, muttering under his breath as he scribbled a quick message against the hood of his vehicle. I put out my name and my phone number, and I told him I would pay for the damage, he said, ripping the paper away and handing it to Gomer. Here, put this on the guy's window. I sure will, Sergeant, Gomer said proudly, taking the note with utmost care as if it were a precious historical document. I just know you are going to be happy about this. If my conscience ain't right, I am going to pass the night. If my conscience is clean, I sleep till 8:15. Sergeant Carter walked away, shaking his head and muttering to himself about the strange but undeniable power of Gomer's unyielding moral compass. The next morning, the sun rose bright and early over the military base, finding Sergeant Carter sitting at his desk in the office, reviewing training schedules and sipping from a heavy ceramic mug of black coffee. The peaceful silence of the early hour was suddenly shattered by the sharp, piercing ring of the telephone sitting on the corner of his desk. He reached out, lifting the receiver with a practiced, efficient motion. How may I be? Sergeant Carter here. He listened for a moment, his brow furrowing as a loud, agitated voice crackled through the small speaker. Who? Whipple. Well, what can I do for you, Mr. O? Oh, yeah, my note. Yeah, that was me. Sergeant Carter leaned back in his chair, a smug, self-satisfied smile spreading across his face as he prepared to receive the praise he felt he rightly deserved for being such an honest citizen. Well, thank you very much, he said into the mouthpiece, nodding along with his own thoughts. Sure, I know most guys would just drive off, but I just ain't built that way. Right, there's still some of us good guys left in the world. He chuckled softly, feeling a rare wave of pride in his own integrity, completely forgetting that Gomer had been the one to force his hand. Well, what is it going to cost me, Mr. Whipple? Let us get this little matter settled, so we can both move on with our day. There was a brief pause on the line, followed by a torrent of rapid, heated speech from the other end. Sergeant Carter's smile began to falter, his eyes widening as he pulled the receiver a few inches away from his ear. Estimates, he repeated, his voice rising in confusion. What do you need estimates for?
It was just a... What?
$235? For what? It was just a scratch.
Huh?
What extensive damage. Look, mister, I do not know what your racket is, but you got the wrong guy. I ain't about to pay you 235 clams. Well, do anything you like. He slammed the receiver back onto its cradle with tremendous force, his face turning a bright, angry shade of red. Just at that moment, the door to the office swung open and Gomer Pyle stepped inside, carrying a stack of freshly laundered uniforms, his face bright with his signature cheerful grin. Golly, Sergeant, I find that hard to believe, Gomer said, having caught the tail end of the explosive telephone conversation. Of course you do, pal, Sergeant Carter barked, turning his glare toward the innocent private. Well, as far as you are concerned, the whole world's one big Mother Goose story. You think everybody out there is as honest and pure as you are, but that guy on the phone is a crook, a flat-out swindler. I sure am sorry, Sergeant, Gomer said, his smile vanishing instantly as he set the uniforms down on a nearby table, his eyes filled with genuine sympathy for the sergeant's sudden misfortune. Oh, sure you are sorry, Sergeant Carter mocked, pacing back and forth behind his desk like a caged tiger. You are always sorry, but that don't keep you from being stupid. You forced me to leave that note, and now some total stranger is trying to take me to the cleaners for a tiny little scratch that you could fix with a bit of polish. Well, are you going to have to pay him? Gomer asked softly, his heart heavy at the thought of causing such trouble for his superior officer. Oh, no, pal, I ain't stupid, Sergeant Carter declared, slamming his hand down on the desk. But some other dummy probably would have paid him, and it all would have been made possible by you, pal.
You.
Mr. Nice Guy. You and your Grandma Pyle's 815 conscience have gotten me into a royal mess. Before Gomer could offer another word of comfort or explanation, the main door to the barracks opened, and a man in civilian clothes stepped into the hallway. He was a middle-aged man with a sharp, pinched face, wearing a conservative suit that seemed slightly too small for him, giving him an aura of permanent irritation. He looked around the room with deep suspicion before his eyes landed on the two Marines. Excuse me, I am looking for a Sergeant Carter, the man said, his voice thin and demanding. Could you tell me where I might find him? Sergeant Carter stood up straight, squaring his shoulders as he stepped out from behind his desk. Yeah, I am Carter. What can I do for you? The man stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he evaluated the sergeant. Oh, really? You are Sergeant Carter. Well, I am Harry Whipple. Sergeant Carter's expression instantly hardened, his jaw setting into a rigid line. Oh, so you're Whipple, huh? The $235 man. Yes, and I would like to ask you one question, Sergeant, Mr. Whipple said, stepping closer and poking a finger into the air to emphasize his point. Are you going to pay me or not? Sergeant Carter let out a short, harsh laugh, shaking his head in disbelief. Come on, you gotta be kidding. You know you got a lot of guts coming out of you like this. I told you on the phone exactly where you could put your estimate. Now, you mean you refused to pay? Mr. Whipple asked, his voice rising an octave as his face began to flush with anger. Because I can take steps, Sergeant. I am a prominent citizen, and I know my rights. I was going to give you one chance to change your mind before I went back to town and took official action. Well, I ain't changing my mind, Sergeant Carter bellowed, matching the civilian's volume note for note. Get that straight. You got a nice little racket going for you, mister, but it won't work with me. I know what a $10 scratch looks like, and I know what a shakedown looks like. Now, look, Sergeant, I am sure you do not want any trouble, Mr. Whipple said, trying to regain a sense of legal authority, though his voice shook slightly under the intensity of the sergeant's military glare. And I do not like making trouble for a serviceman, but I warn you, I will not hesitate to go straight to your commanding officer. Are you trying to scare me? Sergeant Carter shouted, stepping directly into Mr. Whipple's personal space. Because if you are, forget it. I put one little scratch on your car, a little scratch about that big, and you know it. You are trying to use my honesty against me to get a whole new paint job on my dime. Would you like to step outside and take a look at my car? Mr. Whipple challenged, gesturing grandly toward the parking lot outside the barracks window. Yeah, I would like to see it, Sergeant Carter snapped, grabbing his utility cap from the desk and jamming it onto his head. Come on, show me your $235 fender.
Come on.
He marched toward the door, then paused and pointed a commanding finger at Gomer, who had been watching the entire exchange with wide, worried eyes.
Pyle.
Come with me, I want to show you something. I want you to see the kind of world you are forcing me to deal with. Yes, sir, Gomer said quickly, falling into step behind the two angry men as they marched out into the bright morning sunlight. They walked across the gravel path and down toward the visitors' parking area, where a brand-new civilian sedan was parked. The vehicle was pristine, its chrome details gleaming beautifully in the sun, except for the front passenger side, which was hidden from view until they rounded the corner of the bumper. There it is, Sergeant, Mr. Whipple said, stopping and pointing dramatically at the vehicle's front end. Do you call that a scratch? Sergeant Carter and Gomer both stopped dead in their tracks, their jaws dropping simultaneously. The front fender of the civilian car was completely and utterly ruined. The metal was caved in deeply, the beautiful polished paint was cracked and peeling away in jagged shards, and the entire structure was twisted out of shape, as if it had been struck by a runaway freight train. It was a massive, undeniable path of destruction that went far beyond any minor parking mishap. Smoke, who did that? Sergeant Carter muttered, his voice dropping from a shout to a tone of pure, unadulterated shock as he stared at the ruined metal. You did, Mr. Whipple stated triumphantly, crossing his arms over his chest with an air of complete victory. I didn't, Sergeant Carter roared, recovering his voice and stepping back in horror. There is no way on earth my bumper did that kind of damage. My car doesn't even have a dent on it. Then who did? Mr. Whipple demanded, stepping forward until he was nearly toe-to-toe with the sergeant once again. I do not know, but I am telling you it wasn't me, Sergeant Carter shouted back, his face turning a deeper shade of crimson. Now look, would you please keep your voice down? Mr. Whipple pleaded suddenly, his tough exterior cracking slightly as he glanced nervously toward the passenger side of the vehicle. My wife is in there. He gestured toward the front seat, where a woman with a mountain of styled hair and an expression of profound boredom was sitting quietly, staring straight ahead through the windshield. The passenger door swung open with a loud creak, and Mrs. Iris Whipple stepped out onto the gravel. She was dressed in a vibrant outfit, her hands clutching a large handbag, and her face carried the unmistakable look of a woman who had spent the last 10 years winning every single argument she had ever entered. "Come on, Harry," she called out, her voice sharp and piercing. "How long are we going to fool around here? I have got things to do." "As long as it takes," Mr. Whipple called back, though his tone was noticeably less aggressive than it had been when he was speaking to the Marines. "I've got to get this settled." "I've got to get to the beauty parlor," Mrs. Whipple complained, tapping her foot impatiently against the ground. "At least I can get help there instead of standing around a hot military base all day." "Iris, do me a favor," Mr. Whipple said, his voice dropping to a desperate, hushed tone as he turned toward her. "Stay out of this and keep your mouth shut." "Gladly," she snapped, rolling her eyes and leaning back against the rear door of the car, looking away from the group entirely. Gomer stepped closer to the ruined vehicle, his eyes wide as he studied the deep, jagged indentation in the metal. "Oh, that is the worst-looking fender I ever did see," he murmured, shaking his head in pure wonder. "And I did not do it," Sergeant Carter asserted firmly, pointing a finger at Gomer. "Pyle, tell him what happened yesterday. From the very beginning." "That is right," Mr. Whipple said, nodding at Gomer. "Tell him the whole thing. Let us hear what the witness has to say." "Well, I was going into town to see a movie," Gomer began, his voice taking on its comfortable, narrative rhythm as he settled in to tell a proper story. "It was supposed to be a real good one. It is about this doctor experimenting with dead people and trying to bring them back to life in a big old spooky castle with thunder and lightning and—" "No, Pyle, not all that," Sergeant Carter interrupted, his voice cracking with exasperation as he clutched his temples. "Just tell him about the accident. We do not need a movie review." "Yes, sir," Gomer said quickly, adjusting his stance. "Well, anyway, Sergeant Carter was parking the car, and his car hit my fender, right?" Mr. Whipple interrupted, leaning forward to catch the admission. "Yes, sir, it did," Gomer answered honestly, nodding his head.
Uh-huh.
"You see, he is a witness, Carter," Mr. Whipple said, turning to the sergeant with a look of absolute vindication. "He admitted it right there in front of everybody." "No, no," Sergeant Carter protested, waving his hands wildly. "Pyle, tell him what happened exactly. Tell him the details." "Well, I was trying to, Sergeant, and he just didn't let me finish," Gomer said defensively, looking between the two men. "Anyway, Sergeant Carter hit your fender, but he never did all of that. He just made a little bitty scratch. A tiny little line that you could barely see unless you leaned over sideways at just the right angle like I showed him." "Okay, Whipple, there you are," Sergeant Carter said, stepping forward with a triumphant grin. "That proves it. My hands are clean." "If you think that I am going to believe his phony story," Mr. Whipple scoffed, gesturing toward Gomer with deep skepticism. "You two are in the same outfit. Of course he is going to try to protect his sergeant." "What are you saying? Pyle's lying?" Sergeant Carter barked, his protective instincts kicking in despite his usual annoyance with the private. "No one accuses a Marine of lying, especially not an honest kid like Guile." "That is right, he is lying," Mr. Whipple insisted. "Shame, shame, shame. I am not," Gomer said, his face flushing with genuine hurt at the accusation. "I have never told a lie in my whole life, Mr. Whipple. It is against my upbringing." "I only know two things," Mr. Whipple declared, holding up two fingers in front of Sergeant Carter's face. "I got a note from you admitting to an accident, and I got a badly smashed car right here. Now, I ask you for the last time, are you going to pay me for it or not?" "And I am telling you for the last time, no," Sergeant Carter roared back, his patience entirely exhausted. "Now, my advice is to get in your car and get out of here before I call the military police and have you escorted off the space for trying to perpetrate a fraud against the United States Marine Corps." "All right, Sergeant, all right. I am going," Mr. Whipple said, backing away toward the driver's side door as the sergeant's booming voice began to draw the attention of nearby troops. "But you will hear from me. You are in plenty of trouble, understand? Plenty of trouble." I am going straight to the top. The heavy wooden door of the colonel's office stood imposing and grand at the end of the long administrative hallway. Inside, the room was quiet, filled with the dignified scent of polished leather, old books, and military history. Colonel Gray sat behind his large, immaculate desk, his expression stern but fair as he looked over a set of official papers. A sharp, rhythmic knock sounded at the door. "Come in," Colonel Gray called out, his voice calm and authoritative. The door swung open, and Sergeant Carter marched in, stepping into a perfect salute. "Sergeant Carter reporting as ordered, sir." "At ease, Sergeant," Colonel Gray said, lowering his papers and gesturing toward the space in front of his desk. I hope you do not mind, sir, but I brought Private Pyle along just in case we need him for some collaboration," Sergeant Carter said, moving aside to let Gomer enter the room. Gomer stepped in quickly, his eyes wide as he took in the grandeur of the commander's office, immediately saluting with utmost reverence. "Yes, sir," Colonel Gray said, nodding as he looked at the group assembled on the other side of the room. "This is Sergeant Carter and Private Pyle. You know one of these gentlemen, I believe, Mr. Whipple?" "Yes, sir," Mr. Whipple said, sitting rigidly in one of the leather chairs, his hands clutching the handles of his briefcase. He glared at the two Marines as they took their places. "Howdy," Gomer said with a cheerful, friendly wave, completely oblivious to the tense military atmosphere of the room. Colonel Gray cleared his throat softly, gesturing toward the two men sitting on either side of Mr. Whipple. "These other gentlemen are Mr. Goodbody, his attorney, and Mr. Marshall, his insurance agent. They are here to ensure that all civilian interests are properly represented in this matter." "Nice to meet you," Sergeant Carter muttered, offering a stiff, professional nod to the legal team. "You know what this is about, I am sure, the accident with Mr. Whipple's car?" Colonel Gray asked, leaning forward and resting his elbows on the desk, his eyes locking onto Sergeant Carter. "Yes, sir," Sergeant Carter replied quickly. "I have seen the car, and I have seen the note that you left, Sergeant Carter," Colonel Gray continued, his voice even and measured. "What I do not understand is why you refused to pay for the smashed fender after leaving a signed admission of fault at the scene." "Well, it is very simple, Colonel," Sergeant Carter explained, trying to maintain his composure. "I didn't do it. The damage on that vehicle is massive, sir. I left a note because of a minor scratch, a tiny little thing, but when I saw the car today, the whole side was caved in. Someone else must have hit him after I left, or he is trying to blame me for an old accident." "Excuse me, Colonel," Mr. Goodbody, the attorney, spoke up, rising from his chair with a smooth, practiced elegance that suggested he was very comfortable in legal proceedings. "I think Private Pyle could clear this all up for us. Colonel, if you don't mind, I would like to ask Private Pyle a few questions regarding what he observed." "Well, this isn't a court of law, Mr. Goodbody," Colonel Gray reminded him, his eyes narrowing slightly at the lawyer's aggressive approach. "Oh, no, sir," Mr. Goodbody smiled smoothly, waving his hand in a reassuring gesture. "We are just seeking the simple truth, and since the private was present during the entire event, his testimony is invaluable to both sides." "It is perfectly all right with me, sir," Sergeant Carter said, confident that Gomer's unyielding honesty would ultimately save him. "And I am sure it is perfectly all right with my witness here, right, Pyle?" "Yes, sir," Gomer said, standing at attention and nodding vigorously. "I am always happy to help clear things up, sir." "As a matter of fact, Colonel," Mr. Goodbody said, turning his gaze toward Gomer, "the private was a bit reluctant to speak in front of a sergeant when I talked to the both of them briefly outside. But perhaps here in your office, under your protection, we may be able to get the full story without any undue pressure." "Please, Harry, let me handle this now," Mr. Goodbody whispered to Mr. Whipple, who was leaning forward as if he wanted to jump into the conversation himself. The lawyer turned back to Gomer, adjusting his glasses. "Private Pyle, as I understand it, you witnessed the accident?" "Yes, sir," Gomer said, his face shining with cooperation. "See, I was going into town to see this movie, and Sergeant Carter said he would be kind enough to take." "Just tell us about the accident, please," Mr. Goodbody interrupted gently, guiding him back to the main point with a patient smile. "Now, you were in the car during the incident?" Yes, sir, I was, Gomer said, nodding. I was directing him into this awful short space. An awful short space, sir. An awful short space, Mr. Goodbody repeated, turning toward Colonel Gray to make sure the phrase was noted. Tell us what else happened in this awful short space as you described it, Private. Well, there is not really much to tell, Gomer said, gesturing with his hands as he recalled the scene. We was parking, and our car hit the other car. It made a real solid sound, sir. To tell you the truth, Colonel, Sergeant Carter broke in, sensing that Gomer's descriptive language was starting to sound worse than the reality. I didn't even know. Please, Sergeant, Colonel Gray raised a calm hand, cutting him off instantly. Private Pyle is answering the questions. Let him finish his statement. Yes, sir, Sergeant Carter said, swallowing hard as he stepped back into line, a bead of sweat forming on his forehead. Go right ahead, Pyle, Colonel Gray said, nodding encouragingly at the private. Private Pyle, Mr. Goodbody continued, stepping closer to Gomer. You say that Sergeant Carter's car definitely hit Mr. Whipple's car. There is no doubt in your mind about that? Oh, sure, there is no doubt about it, Gomer declared honestly. I even heard it. Clear as a bell, sir. You say you heard it? Mr. Goodbody asked, his voice rising with theatrical surprise. Yes, sir, Gomer said, warming up to the explanation. I not only heard it, but I felt it. It was a real distinct sensation, sir. But it wasn't much. Sergeant Carter tried to mutter under his breath, but a sharp look from Colonel Gray silenced him immediately. You felt it? How did you feel it, Private Pyle? Mr. Goodbody asked, leaning in as if delivering the final stroke of a masterful argument. Well, you know, a nice new car like that, it kind of gave me a sickening feeling, Gomer explained, his face twisting into an expression of deep sympathy as he remembered the moment. A sickening feeling right down in my stomach, sir. A sickening feeling? Mr. Goodbody repeated, turning a triumphant gaze toward the colonel. Well, you know how it is when your car hits something, Gomer continued, completely unaware of the legal trap he was walking into. It kind of makes you sick right here, knowing that a beautiful piece of property has been damaged because of a mistake. Yes, Mr. Goodbody said, turning back to his seat with a grand bow of his head. Thank you, Colonel. I rest my case. The private's own words confirm a significant impact, one that caused immediate emotional and physical distress due to the severity of the crash. Colonel, I tell you, it was just a scratch, Sergeant Carter pleaded, his voice full of desperate urgency as he looked at his commanding officer. The private is talking about his feelings, sir, not the actual damage to the metal. Sergeant, Colonel Gray said, sighing deeply as he rubbed his temples. I am in a very difficult position here. It is Sergeant Carter's word against the word of this good civilian citizen, backed by the official documentation of a signed note left at the scene. But from all the evidence I have heard from your own witness, including the description of a sickening impact that was felt through the vehicle, I think there is only one thing for the sergeant to do, and that is pay up. We must maintain the highest standards of accountability and honor in our relations with the public. And that is what I want you to do, Sergeant. Take care of this financial obligation immediately, so we can put this matter to rest. That will be all, men. Yes, sir, Sergeant Carter said, his shoulders dropping as he gave a heavy, defeated salute. Thank you, sir, Gomer said, saluting brightly, still entirely convinced that he had done an excellent job of telling the absolute truth and helping everyone reach a peaceful resolution. Come on, Pyle, Sergeant Carter muttered, turning on his heel and marching out of the office, his back stiff with anger and frustration. As they walked down the main corridor of the administration building, Gomer hurried to keep up with the sergeant's long, furious strides. It was just a little scratch, Sergeant, Gomer whispered, trying to offer some comfort. A tiny scratch. I don't know why they are making such a big fuss over it. Sergeant Carter did not answer, his jaw set so tightly that his teeth ground together, his mind racing as he thought about the unfairness of having to pay $235 for an accident he knew he did not cause. Later that afternoon, the sun began to cast long, golden hues across the residential streets of the town just outside the military base. Gomer Pyle walked down the sidewalk, his hands tucked into his pockets, his mind deeply troubled by the events of the morning. His conscience, the very same one that Grandma Pyle had always trained so carefully, was refusing to let him rest. He knew deep down that something was wrong with the picture of the smashed car, and he felt a profound responsibility to find out the truth and save his sergeant from an unfair financial burden. He stopped in front of the Whipple residence, a neat suburban home with a manicured lawn and a wide driveway. Sitting right there in the driveway was the brand-new civilian sedan, its ruined front fender looking even worse in the bright daylight. Gomer took a deep breath, walked up the front steps, and knocked gently on the wooden door. The door swung open after a few moments, and Mrs. Iris Whipple stood in the entryway, wearing a colorful house dress and a pair of shopping gloves, her expression instantly turning to one of deep annoyance as she recognized the Marines standing on her porch. "Excuse me, Miss Whipple," Gomer said, lifting his utility cap with a polite, respectful bow. "My name is Pyle, Gomer Pyle. I saw you out at the base yesterday during the discussion with the colonel." Yes, I remember," Mrs. Whipple said sharply, holding the edge of the door as if she were ready to slam it shut at any second. "What do you want?" "Well, is your husband at home?" Gomer asked, peering past her into the quiet house. "No, he is at work," she replied flatly, shaking her head.
Goodbye.
She began to close the door, but Gomer stepped forward slightly, keeping his voice gentle and pleading. "Miss Whipple, see, the reason I wanted to see him was to talk about that accident my sergeant and I had with Mr. Whipple's car," Gomer explained, his eyes full of earnest sincerity. "I just feel like there is something we missed, and I want to make sure everything is completely fair for everyone involved." "I would not know anything about that," Mrs. Whipple said, her voice rising with a touch of defensiveness as she adjusted her handbag. "You'll have to talk to him when he gets back from the office. And I'm getting dressed to go out shopping, and I am in a hurry. The stores close early today, and I have no time to waste on military business." "Oh, I see," Gomer said, nodding understandingly. "Well, could you tell me what happened from your perspective? Could you tell me where I could get in touch with him at his workplace so I don't have to bother you here at home?" "I told you, I do not have any time to talk," Mrs. Whipple snapped, her face turning rigid as she stepped back into the hallway.
Goodbye.
She slammed the heavy wooden door shut, leaving Gomer standing alone on the porch. "But, Miss Whipple," Gomer called out softly to the closed door, sighing as he realized his polite approach was not working. He turned around and began to walk slowly down the steps, but his eyes were drawn back to the shiny new car parked in the driveway. He walked over to it, bending down once again to inspect the deep, crumpled metal of the fender, trying to understand how such damage could have occurred. Suddenly, the front door of the house flew open again, and Mrs. Whipple marched out onto the lawn, her high heels clicking loudly against the concrete walkway. "Are you still here?" she shouted, her voice echoing down the quiet, suburban street. "I told you, I do not have any time to talk." "Well, all I wanted was just to ask you a simple little question about the timing of the whole thing," Gomer said, standing up straight and offering an apologetic smile. "Then I told you to get out of here," Mrs. Whipple insisted, waving her gloved hands in the air to shoo him away. "Now, will you stop bothering me, or I will call the police this very minute. I am a citizen, and I will not be harassed on my own property by the military." "But, ma'am, Gomer stammered, backing away toward the edge of the driveway, his hands raised peacefully to show he meant no harm. Before he could finish his sentence, Mrs. Whipple turned around sharply, marched over to the driver's side of the sedan, and climbed in, her movements hurried and agitated. She slammed the car door, started the engine with a loud, aggressive roar, and threw the vehicle into reverse. The car shot backward down the driveway, but her angle was completely off. There was a loud, scraping crunch as the rear bumper of the brand-new vehicle struck a large oak tree sitting right at the edge of the property line, sending a shower of loose bark onto the grass. The car came to a sudden halt, and Mrs. Whipple sat frozen behind the steering wheel, her shoulders slumping as a look of pure, utter despair washed over her face. Gomer rushed over to the side of the vehicle, his face filled with immediate concern. "Ma'am?" Gomer called out through the open window, his voice gentle and comforting. "Are you all right?" Mrs. Whipple gasped, turning her head toward him with wide, tearful eyes. "Where did you come from?" she whispered, her defensive anger completely vanishing, replaced by a deep sense of embarrassment. "Well, from just down the street," Gomer said softly, leaning against the door frame. "I was just wondering if I could talk to you for a minute now that the car is stopped." "I told you I haven't got any time," she whimpered, resting her forehead against the steering wheel as a few tears began to roll down her cheeks. "Now get away, just get away from the car." "Well, all I want to do is ask you a couple of questions, ma'am," Gomer said, his heart aching to see her so upset. "Do you always drive like that?" "What do you mean?" she sobbed, looking up at him with a mixture of confusion and shame. "Well, I seen you hit that tree just now, and it just kind of gave me a sudden thought," Gomer explained, pointing a finger toward the crumpled front fender on the other side of the vehicle. "Were you driving this car the day before yesterday, ma'am? Perhaps right around the time my sergeant and I were parking in town?" "I told you to quit bothering me," Mrs. Whipple cried, covering her face with her hands. "Why can't you leave me alone? Get off this property this minute. I'm going to call the police and tell them you are causing trouble." "All right, ma'am. If that is what you would like to do, you go right ahead," Gomer said, his voice remaining perfectly calm and steady, filled with a gentle authority that seemed to cut through her panic. "Go away, please," she whispered, her shoulders shaking as she wept openly now, the heavy burden of her secret becoming too much to bear. "You did it, didn't you, ma'am?" Gomer asked softly, his eyes filled with a deep, non-judgmental understanding. "I mean, smash that fender. You were the one who hit something else, and then you saw my sergeant's note and thought it was a way out." Mrs. Whipple let out a long, shuddering sigh, her hands dropping from her face as she looked at the honest, kind Marine standing beside her. "Yes," she confessed, her voice barely audible over the idling engine. "So when it happened, I panicked. I just panicked completely."
"But why?"
Gomer asked, his brow furrowing in confusion. "It is a brand new car. The price sticker is still on the back window. It is a beautiful machine, ma'am. Why didn't you just tell the truth?" "Well, I still don't think that is any reason you can't tell your husband," Gomer continued, trying to